All right, good evening. We are back for another episode with the Truckers Lounge. We have in the studio myself, Eugene Banks, and Depriest Ingram, and we're going to talk about a few topics that we had lined up for you guys. What you got going on, Depriest?
Man, I can't call it, man. Just what I'm saying, ready to go ahead and do the second episode, man. Touch on these
Okay.
topics you got lined up.
Yeah, well, one of the topics I wanted to talk about was it's based out of Memphis, Tennessee. You got this uh, trucking company. Well, not a trucking company. It's a towing company that's going around towing everybody.
Uh
And a lot of people been having disputes with this towing company. Shucks, it's going back a few years, so I'm gonna pull up one of the articles to discuss on this issue. One of the things that came across my desk. All right. So this particular article speaks on a driver who stayed in the truck for 33 hours to avoid being towed by A1 a towing service. Uh, Now, the story with this one, I'll just read it real quickly. A truck driver who came to Memphis to recover a tractor trailer stolen from Chicago area stayed inside the big rig for nearly 34 hours to prevent A1's towing and hauling from taking it. The owner of MHT Group Incorporated said his driver gassed up at the Shelby Express on East Shelby Drive, pulled into a spot, and was in the process of paying for parking through his dispatch when A1's booted and blocked in the vehicle. Let me scroll down right here. They said, we got a receipt. We called the gas station. We showed the receipt. We called the towing company, and they said, oh, we booted you 10 minutes before you had this receipt, said the owner. He said his company offered to pay A1 $7,500 to drop the truck, but they were told it wasn't even close to what it would cost to get the truck back. Now, with this issue, this ain't the first issue of stuff like this happening. Here's another article right here, basically saying that this company, uh, their license, their booting license was suspended in Arkansas. So one of the things that they were doing was booting your truck, and then they'll try to tow it away. Now, the owner of this company name is Colton Cathy. He's 29 years old. He was arrested in April and accused of taking an 18-wheeler by force from a truck stop on Lamar, which was, I think this was the Love's truck stop there in Memphis.
do,
Um,
do you got a face for him? You got a
I,
face?
I
So
didn't get a
what
face
I'm
of
saying?
this
So
guy.
everybody can see what it looked like, so if they in Memphis they could beware.
Yeah, I would.
You know, you know what I'm saying?
I would
We
have to
got
get.
we,
I'm.
we gotta put a beware toe sign, you know what I'm saying, with a dog on there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to get a. I'm gonna look up a picture, but I want everybody to look at this. It's Shelby Express on East Shelby Drive,
uh,
and with that, what drivers have to understand is that's at the corner of Shelby Drive and Mendenhall. If you decide to come to Memphis and you park at that particular truck stop, you have to be aware that you can't just park first and then decide to go inside and you know what I'm saying and pay for your ticket. You need to park in the fuel island or so, pay for your ticket for your parking space, then go and get your parking spot. That way you can display your receipt inside the window from what it's looking like. I'm gonna have to come back. Let's see. This he has a video of himself. Let me show
who's
this
talking about
video.
Colton?
Yeah, he has a video out.
Big
I'm
bad
sure.
Colton.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what I'm saying? Hey, we ain't got no, you know what I'm saying, no background music, no bad to the bone or nothing like that. You gotta have
Those,
some kind of music for this man.
well,
Ugh.
you gonna have to get something for him because old Colton
Yeah, well, yeah. Hey, look, man, look, I'm tell you something, man. You know what I'm saying? I think it's some MMA fighters around here, man, and took some of the SBA money and started tow company.
you think so?
You know what I'm saying? Some, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Some retired MMA fighters, man. Man, these
That's
guys tough, man.
all right.
You say, is that Shelby Express they need to be aware of?
There's Shelby Express, which is at the corner of Shelby Drive and Mendenhall Road. I'm gonna show you this quick clip. All right, so that's Colton. Yeah, that's Colton right there. He's the owner of the A1 Towing. He also currently has a lawsuit with the city of Memphis Police Department claiming harassment and saying that they were stopping them from being able
He has
to
a lawsuit against Memphis.
the city of Memphis. Well, let me rephrase that. The Memphis Police Department,
Right.
and basically saying that they were harassing them and keeping them from doing their jobs, and saying that they were being harassed by and targeted by other people also. So that's what the lawsuit is about. So just want people to be aware of where you park in Memphis. Make sure you're getting permission. And this just don't apply to Memphis. This also applies to anywhere. With the times that we got going on now, the freight is scarce. Money has dropped on these loads, and so right now, with the level of fraud that we have going on, pretty much just advise everybody to just be vigilant and know where you can park, because you might be booted, you might be towed, and based on some of the videos that we've watched and some of the articles that we read, you don't know what they're going to charge you to tow you. So, but this particular truck stop that they've been having issues at, a lot of people from out of town, Shelby Express, which is at the corner of Shelby Drive and Mendenhall Road. So be aware of that particular location if you decide to park there.
Is that the only area?
Well, that's the one that has gotten the most issues, so far. This particular towing company also had an issue at the Loves in Memphis and pulled a driver out of the truck to tow his
When was
truck
this?
about a month ago from the article we read.
Talking about the one at Love?
Yes, sir. Let's see. I can share that article.
A security guard has been charged with carjacking, but it wasn't a car. It was a tractor trailer. Fox 13's Dominique Dillon is live at the airport. Dominique, it all started with a truck parked at that truck stop behind you near the airport.
Yeah, the truck driver says he pulled into this truck stop, Loves, off of Lamar Avenue, and he parked his truck here only for 29-year-old Colton Cathy, to tell him he had to move. Now he's being charged with carjacking. Memphis police say they recently arrested Cathy on April 16th. A trucker told police he pulled into Love's travel stop to let his drive time reset. The victim claims Cathy then put a boot on his truck and demanded he pay more than $200 to have it removed. The victim says he paid the fee, but Cathy claimed he never got the payment. According to an affidavit, he claims Cathy and 5 other guards broke open his door and forced him out of the truck. He says Cathy then had the truck towed away, and it's a move that other truck drivers who are here at this Love believe was excessive.
They think they got the authority because they called them, and so they can overstep their bounds sometimes. So I can see how that could get somebody in trouble. They better know what they're doing.
I got a concern about the city of Memphis.
Yeah.
First of all, though, but I'm gonna take it layer by layer. First off, when drivers are parking at these truck stops, now it'd be best before you even fuel there, you ask them what tow company are they contracted with, and you know what I'm saying, and how much authority do they have on that lot? You know what I'm saying? It's best to go ahead and ask that so that these drivers can kind of get prepared to protect themselves. Because you know that little situation that happened in April, the one that they got charged carjacking for, that driver really had every right to protect himself with deadly force.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they broke the locks, you know, on his truck. But I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, they ain't get no, you know what I'm saying, no, you know what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure they pick and choose their targets.
Yeah.
They ain't running up to everybody's truck. I don't care what that video show. You know what I'm saying? You can have many mirror Lamborghinis as you want. You ain't just pulling up on any truck driver like that. I'm a truck driver. You ain't just pulling up on any truck driver like that. Okay, how many guys you got?
And from what it looks like, they were only pulling up on trucks that were from out of state.
Yeah.
You know, that's what them the ones that appear to be booted and the ones that appear to be having the issues.
You ain't never seen Hurricane Hay,
the fighter,
Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
You remember, you know what I'm saying? They get ready to cover his cell, and he start taking cloths and everything, patting his head up. You know what I'm saying? Get ready for Billy Club. Yeah, because you know what I'm saying? He was in a close quarter, so he, you know, with his skill, he would have been able to defend himself for a good length of time.
Yeah,
because he was in a tight quarter. That truck worked the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and you up high. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was born, you know. I mean, you know, I just feel some type of way about that old Colton. I mean, he even got a cowboy named Colton Cat.
Yeah, as a
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, we, you know what I'm saying?
Name. Hey, look, we ain't got that little Wild Wild West. You know what I'm saying? That little Wild Wild West whistle sound effect.
We're going to get some of that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, old Colton Cat.
We're going to download that.
You know what I'm saying? What? You know what I'm saying? You sit on that video, man. Anybody who been told by A1 when they see that video, they ought to be mad, man. That's their money, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's sad, man. So, you know, they doing that. That's sad.
But, you know, again, you know, like I say, I got a problem with that because these truck stop lots are considered private lots. They don't supposed to be able to come on them lots unless somebody called them or contracted them. We've seen articles where
the store,
you know, who's that guy up there? Was it Denmark, Tennessee?
Yeah, I think that's a shell. I think that's a shell.
He claimed he got tricked into a contract with a tow company. He didn't know they were just gonna come and just be booting people at will, you know, minutes after them parking or whatever. But what was like a 2 or 3 year contract, and the state said they couldn't do nothing about it because he signed the contract.
Yeah,
so you know,
they say he even put up a sign warning truck drivers about it. You know, because they wouldn't leave, and he asked them to leave, and so he put up a sign warning trucks, you know, about what was going on, and he would also let them know when they would come inside to the store to shop, letting them know what was going on, and so pretty much to be aware of the towing company.
It's got to be a business law out there somewhere that, you know what I'm saying, that's because that sounds like an entrapment type contract.
Yeah,
because you can't put a store business at risk, you know what I'm saying, just to abuse your authority. So something got to be done about that. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. The only thing that I can tell the drivers is, you know, protect themselves. I mean, I feel like you should have the right to protect yourself unless the truck stop, because it seemed like the truck stop would have to advise every driver, we have no control over the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? We have no control over the parking lot. You parking at your own risk.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do it in a sign, it need to be a large enough sign they can see when they entering into the fuel aisle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We have no control over the parking lot. A1 towing is over the parking lot, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So, you know, to me, you know what I'm saying, a lot of that is like entrapment. I hope some lawsuits can end up coming behind this where these drivers can recoup their money, because we'd have heard so many stories about guys being out 16,000, 17,000 just to get a truck out.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
That's ridiculous. You know, all the stories you read of $7,500 just to get a truck out of storage.
it's just you know what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of hard to believe them stories when you hadn't been a victim of that yet.
Right.
Like, I had a towing experience. Where we were parking in areas where we shouldn't have been, but they had let us park there for so long. But the tow fee was only $600.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying, per equipment. I'm seeing prices like $7,500.
that's
For
ridiculous.
boots.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I remember when boots used to be like what, $150,
something
$200.
like that. They
You
just
know,
wanted that quick money and go on about your business. You know,
but but see, but another problem I got too, not with just the city of Memphis, was the city of Memphis. Part of my friends, they politics and they laws and policies really ain't hitting on shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just a wild ass city. Be careful anybody who go there. But I got a problem with the drivers, man. You know what I mean? Like, I just got a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? It's like they just laying down, letting a lot of this stuff happen. I'm not telling the driver to go out there and hurt nobody, but man, you need to call the authorities before you turn any money loose.
yeah. And I
You
think
know what
that's
I'm
what
saying?
it
If you're in the
is.
right.
I think that's what it is. Most people not knowing what to do. Because how many people hear about stuff like this? And how many people does this happen to on a regular basis? Like you said, most people don't know anything about this unless it doesn't happen to them or they know someone
Yeah.
personally. So most people don't really know how to combat something like this.
Right.
That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, but see, a lot of that, see, a lot of factors are at play with that. Drivers out there, a lot of drivers are disgruntled, caught off guard, distracted by everything going on in the trucking industry. The fall in freight volume, the fall of rates, the rise in fuel prices, bills are constantly need to be paid, truck notes need to be paid. All these expenses coming through, I can understand that you get to a point that you can't help but to submit to a situation. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been distracted like that before, but I've got pissed off to it myself. Later on when I caught myself like, man, why in the hell would you do something like that? That's not even you. And and then you got these carriers out here. They got these selfish ass drivers out here. Get caught up in a situation where the vehicle getting towed and all of here. Man, how long I gotta sit? Man, you mean tell I gotta wait? Why don't you just go and pay the money? Like they spending money out your wallet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why a lot of these carriers need to build their companies where their drivers access to them are minimized.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? I mean, because you can't deal with that stress. Because I remember a driver had did me like that, before, and I had to stop him. I said, "Hey, don't you ever talk over my money like that again.
Yeah.
You don't tell me what financial decisions to make. You work for me." But see, that's an insult to a lot of these drivers when the owner look like me and you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Any other owner could say it to them, and you know what I'm saying, they take it on the chin and go do their job and gripe under their breath.
Yeah.
So I just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like I said, man, I just got a problem with you know what I'm saying, a lot of components that's involved with that. And you know what I'm saying, drivers, we just got to do better too, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to do better. The company driver, you know what I'm saying? You got to ask yourself, are you going to a company, I don't care how small or how big they are you going to a company to build your portfolio in the industry, or are you just going to a company to see how much of it you can tear down before you leave?
Yeah. And and sad to say, a lot of them it does the latter.
Yeah.
They only care about themselves, and and how that company can benefit them and just move on. Don't really
Yeah.
care about the other people who gonna be left behind to deal with whatever comes down the pipe from the decisions you made.
Right.
So
Right. It's only a team thing to them when they trying to get in the door and get up under you.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's just, like I said, man, I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad situation, but Memphis really got to do something about that. I know that you say on the news that you care about the crime that's going on in Memphis. Your policies need to reflect that.
yeah,
Point blank. Your policies need to reflect that. And it's like I don't know, Colton. I don't want to seem wrong, but I Memphis laws are so garbage. That carjacking charge really wouldn't mean a lot unless he was across the state line in Mississippi. Then
yeah,
I throw his ass under the jail. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You won't have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? No more. You won't have to worry about him no more. You know what I'm saying? But like in Memphis, probably won't be too much that happened to him. His TT probably is a clerk down at the courthouse.
Ain't no telling.
That's raw. So, did you ever find an article?
I couldn't come across another article. That'd probably be something we had to.
Oh yeah, we'll most definitely research it. Yeah,
because it's still a developing story, so still stuff going on. Because, like I said,
that's something we most definitely got to stay in tune with. To see like what came about the situation with him.
Yeah.
Make sure that what I'm saying, if they giving him a slap on the wrist, people know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, people know about it. So.
Yeah. So it's crazy.
I said, Colton Dalton. Well, I can picture him in a cowboy hat and a 6-shooter. Get out of that truck.
Yeah, shoot.
Get out the goddamn truck.
So he came with what? About five other guys?
Yeah,
to pull that guy out the
5
truck?
other guys, armed guys, 5 of them. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Broke the man lock. You know what I'm saying? Vandalized his equipment and pulled him on out of there. And say, you know what I'm saying? Get on out of this truck.
Yeah, that's sad.
Ain't no grown man treat me like no kid.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Ooh-wee.
I know you said you wanted to talk about also
No, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of our topics.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And
okay, now what's the next topic?
The detention and everything, long wait times. At the warehouse.
Factoring costs versus factoring time.
Yeah. That's one of the other ones. Yeah.
Okay. So okay. So what you want me to lead off on it?
Yeah. No, that was your topic there.
This is pretty much a topic about what's going on in the industry with the freight rates, rising fuel costs, the drop in volume of freight. And Gene and I, we was discussing, ways to survive in this storm. And I think personally time, is a factor. Time, well, I'm saying, I'm going to say that you can get involved if you don't know, what I'm saying, what I mean, but time is a major factor I don't think a lot of drivers think about unless they're not getting paid for their time.
Right.
I don't think that a warehouse should use truckers as mobile storage.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, it shouldn't be a problem to get in and out of a warehouse within an hour and a half if the warehouse is properly organized. That's the problem that a lot of drivers facing. If you calculate it up, if I made $1,000 on 500 miles. I know that's $2 a mile. No, that's not a lot. I'm using that as an example, so guys can understand. If I made $1,000 on 500 miles, if it only took me 3 hours to get that load and unload it, I could plan my next load. My next load might not be paying much or nothing either, and maybe 600 miles. I may get lucky and get $3 a mile. So let's say $1,800. If it only takes me on average on both ends together 3 hours, hour and a half on each end to pick up and deliver, I could pre-plan the next load. Where a lot of guys are getting hit at, they can't plan their week out.
Yeah.
Guys who don't, and I'm not talking to you guys who say you have the contracts. I'm talking to the guys who got trapped in the spot market.
Right.
The problem is they can't plan a week out. You can't plan your week out, you can't make no money. If you're spending 3 hours on one end to get loaded and 4 hours on the other end to get unloaded, that's 7 hours out of your 70-hour week that you just wasted on one load.
Yeah.
Right. So you can't make no money. I think even in an economy like this, if time wasn't an issue, if drivers, if our time wasn't wasted, we could still make survival money. I'll say, I'm not gonna say good money. We still could make survival money. But when you're just idling and sitting, you're not making any money. And I think a lot of guys get so caught up on the rates that they neglect those issues. Drivers, we have so many calls,
Right.
that it's almost hard to keep up with it. So you don't really think about time. I mean, if I just had the time to do this, I could get more done in a week. You know what I'm saying? Okay, my truck burns 7 miles to the gallon. Okay, if I only average $2 a mile a week on 2,500 miles, that's still a gross of $5,000 I made, and I didn't waste a lot of time. Hell, I might get home for the weekend. I might not even feel cheated, knowing that I could get that 2,500 miles done in a shorter window between Monday and Friday, be home Saturday and Sunday, straight back out Monday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, your profit margin has dropped, but you're still making better survival money versus getting a load paying $2.50 a mile at 500 miles, and you're making, what's that, like $1,100 or something like that?
What did you say a mile?
What is $1,250?
Okay.
Versus getting a 500 mile run paying $250 a mile. That's $1,250. Okay, you made more money than 1,000 miles, but you spent 7 hours on the pickup and delivery in total.
Yeah.
So that guy who only getting the $2 a mile with the promise that his time would be respected will make more money than you at the end of the week. By the time you get to the end of the week, the guy who made the $250 a mile start off, if he was to get the next load $600 at $2,000, well, you ran less miles, but you burnt a lot of diesel up on idling. And, you gross, $1,250 plus $1,800, $3,050, I believe that's correct. But the guy whose time wasn't wasted, he covered 2,500 miles in a week and probably beat you home.
Right. And
you know what I mean? So I think, I think guys should, start using their spreadsheets in their computer and start like calculating up possibility, using business statistics, what you call
like calculus
equations.
Okay, yeah.
Equation. Using business statistics equation. The spreadsheet. Use your if function, your possibility functions, and start calculating up this time. And since you can't get nowhere with the FMCSA, or it's a slow rolling process, you probably could make the shippers hear you when you let them know, like, hey, I'm only giving you an hour and a half, because so many drivers are dealing with brokers who don't want to pay detention.
And
we understand.
And the detention rates have gone down, from what the brokers were paying. A lot of them is $40 an hour, $50 an hour,
Talking about now?
From what I've seen, where I know it used to be some, I would see something 75, 50.
Yeah, it used to be
Yeah.
that, but we started seeing them drop before we got off into intermodal.
And so, yeah, because they had got down to what, 25?
Yeah.
25 an hour?
Man, yeah, that was as low as I saw it. And that came from that was my experience with Coyote Logistics.
Yeah, well, you already know Coyote. I wanted to share this. It's talking about the operating expenses, what it had gotten down to, and it basically shows that the operating expenses this year had gotten up to $2.25 a mile, which is historically high. Never been that high to where the cost per mile for an owner operator just to run a truck had gotten up to $2.25 a mile. And
like I say, man, I go back to the drivers. You know what I mean? Like you can't strike. This is why you can't strike. You can't strike because being that there is no unity, you're gonna have some cockroach that's gonna wait for the majority of the truckers to strike. Brokers with they slick ass is gonna up the rate. You know what I'm saying? And those cockroaches gonna crawl their asses out there to their trucks and get on their highway and take them rates while everybody else is striking, and the brokers are going to be satisfied with because the volume of freight is low anyway. You know what I'm saying? So the strike doesn't work, in my opinion. Like I said, it's just my opinion on it. I don't think the strike will work.
Yeah, we're not sticking together, like we should, and then we're not organized.
Right.
So you can have 10,000 people stick together, but if you're not organized on what you're fighting for, what your demands are, and what how you're gonna accomplish it, you're not really getting anywhere. So
I mean, has there ever been a change in history without violence?
Not that I know of.
Well, you know what I mean? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much of your livelihood? Well, how can I say it? How much of your livelihood depends on this industry is what you had to ask yourself. You know what I mean? Are you running across people who this doesn't mean anything to? They just looking at it as a quick hustle. I mean, like, how much of this does
and I think for the overwhelming majority, well, I can't speak like that, but I'd say for a lot of people, it's just a way to just make a quick buck being in trucking. For a lot of people, trucking isn't their passion. For the majority of people who was in trucking, it was their passion. They've already retired. Those were the guys who lived on the road, gone a month at a time because they loved it. But now, that everything has changed. I'm not saying you got to be on the road for a month at a time to be a real trucker. I'm just saying that the majority of the people who were passionate about it have left the industry.
I think it's still a lot of passionate drivers out there. I gotta respectfully disagree. I think it's still a lot of passionate drivers. I think those passionate drivers that are still out there, they weren't very good businessmen. And what I mean by that, like, you still got a lot of passionate drivers that got caught up in the wave of the benefits that came with the pandemic, and they made some very crucial financial mistakes that trapped them into what's going on now. The reason why they can't fall back. That's why you're hearing a lot of complaints going on, because you still got the passionate ones still there. They just unbox themselves in.
That's true. Yeah.
By making horrible financial decisions with money that they had access to when the pandemic was going on, and it's unfortunate. We know a few, that's boxed in, so I honestly feel like if they were gone, we wouldn't hear the complaints that we hear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying right now. the newbies that's complaining, they're only complaining because when they came in the industry, trucks were at an all-time high. You know, they
Yeah.
was like 50% above the regular
Right.
retail, so they feeling it in their pockets right
Yeah.
now. You know what I
Everything,
mean?
you know,
Yeah,
because a
yeah,
brand new truck pre-pandemic was about $150,000, you know.
yeah.
After that,
And it went up to like what, about
well,
400,000?
it went up to 200,000, then eventually started seeing 225 for the same for the
The
brand
brand
new
new
trucks.
trucks.
You know, in what 2021, 2022, they went up to 225. Um, didn't have any extra features on the truck that made it work that. They went up because they could.
Were they the Freightliners you
I remember
talking
seeing
about?
Volvos and KWs that price.
I thought for some reason prices were higher
Uh,
than that. When they first started
I think what was
raising it up.
those prices were like the prices of like those Tesla trucks, those electric trucks was going to be around that price, or those autonomous
Okay.
trucks were going to be that price.
Yeah, you know, I may have it confused. But either way, the shit went up high because hell, I bought a couple of them high jokers, but I still had my other equipment that I had bought at regular price. So, you know, when things didn't work out, like, hey, chop, chop, chop,
Yeah,
you know, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really feeling it like that, you know, but you know, a lot of these guys, you know, those high dollar trucks were their primary trucks.
yeah,
You know, they made them
yeah,
their primary. You know, and they were driving them themselves. I had other guys in mine,
right,
so I didn't have any sentimental value to the
right,
truck.
right. And that's a tough
Yeah,
thing to have sentimental value for a piece of equipment, especially in the industry like this.
yeah,
You know, when things are falling apart,
yeah.
and that's
Well, see, the industry wasn't like
that's
this at
true,
first, though.
but it's hard not to have sentimental value for something if you kind of got it out of the mud. You
Right.
had a hard time getting it, and you held on to it 10 years or so, 5, 10 years. Sometimes it's hard not to have that sentimental value for a piece of equipment, you know. But you can't really evolve if you don't kind of change with the times. You know, with what's going on. If the economy is getting bad, you got to find a way to evolve and change to where you can still stay profitable, you know. But
Yeah,
sadly, your emotions kind of get in the way.
that's
Yeah,
true.
so
That's true. Well, I guess we end with the topic of who's to blame for the freight recession, for the collapse of the trucking industry.
shucks. Uh, the government would say it was the COVID. you know,
Well,
okay, go ahead.
actually, the COVID
Uh huh.
boosted. You know what I'm saying? When the shutdown happened, it actually boosted it because after that, you know, you still had
Yeah,
post COVID. And so it
that's
actually
true.
boosted it. Now, you partly right. It's the government. You know, the government in my in my opinion too. But I think it was the Fed chair. What is let me see if I can
Oh, I
pull up.
remember you telling that lady name.
Hold on, so I'm finna pull her up now.
Yeah, because they were responsible for those interest rates that
Right.
caused the economy to tank.
Okay, you got hold on a second, I'm finna open this up in a new tab.
What's her name? Diane or something.
Hold on a second. You know what I'm saying? Now let me show the photo before you
Yeah,
announce her name.
yeah, because we had a lot of those issues that's facing the trucking industry with um, had that influx of freight that came in, and everybody came into the trucking industry. The media basically said, "Hey, there's a shortage of drivers. Hey, we need as many drivers as possible." They've shown videos of containers, ocean carrier containers out on the ocean, backed up for miles, waiting to be offloaded because there weren't enough workers at the dock and at the ports rather, and there weren't enough trucks to take those available containers away. And so that led to a lot of people being an influx of people being brought into the industry. But sadly, when the freight began to subside and to kind of go back to normal or below normal, you still had the same amount of people that was in the industry, an over capacity amount of people in the industry.
Yeah, then you said an influx of freight did what now? I was
Well,
pulling
you
in
know, when we had
photos
that
up when you
influx of
said
freight,
that.
because you had all those containers,
Mm,
those shipping vessels, the ocean carriers that was, lined up, as far as the eye could see of those carriers
mm,
lined up off the Pacific Ocean, waiting to
right.
port so they can get offloaded. And so they were talking about not having enough workers at the ports to offload them and not having enough drivers to take the stuff away. So now you had the media talking about this and saying, "Hey, there's a shortage in drivers." Hey, and everybody was,
Yeah.
started coming into the industry. Now, one thing about it, it brought a lot of young people and a lot of women into the industry. Because you are there was already uh, a like an older crowd of truck drivers that was getting ready to retire anyway. So they brought a lot of young people in, a lot of women came into the industry, which I was kind of glad to see that.
That's why
Yeah,
insurance went up.
because you had a lot of young people coming in, so
A lot of young people coming
too
in too
fast,
fast.
3 weeks of training,
Yeah.
and with that money that everybody was getting, hey, everybody said, hey, forget being a company driver, I'm gonna start my own business, so
Right. Right. Which the insurance companies need to be held accountable for that too, because they should never granted insurance to someone who didn't have enough experience. If you're going to increase insurance across the board because of accidents happening
right.
over the
And
road,
so they start making everybody else
you know
pay
what I'm
for
saying?
it.
That's BS to me. Yeah, that's BS. That's a bunch of BS. From now, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm all for the young people coming in, but you need to come in with blood, sweat, and tears. It's a reason why. Going through blood, sweat, and tears can save your life out here on the road, or save my
Right.
mother's life, his kids' lives.
Hmm.
You out there on the highway with your feet kicked up watching TikToks and stuff now, you know what I mean? Come
Right.
on now. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And stop acting like folks always attacking y'all, talking about old heads. Man, stop that bull crap. You know what I'm saying? This here, you know what I'm saying? These trucks kill
Right.
people. You know what I mean? And if you don't like for nobody to say that about you, you know what I'm saying? Do one or two things. Get out the industry or get better.
Yeah. Because it's not the passion of a lot of people, like since I train once a week at a trucking school as an instructor, and like I had some of the young
Hmm.
students start telling me, "Hey, I'm trying to run a bag up real quick." You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make
Yeah.
some money bags, and I'm like, man, stop thinking about the money first. I said, you need to be safe out here on the road, you know. I said, because if you leading by with money, you're gonna do everything you can just to make the money, but you're gonna put safety last, so
Yeah. Hopefully you was able to turn them
hopefully.
around. Yeah.
Did you find the name of the lady
Yeah.
that was
Yeah. No, it's
okay?
two of them.
It's a lady and a man, right? It's a
Actually,
lady and a man,
huh?
right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But let's, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, like, go back around to the topic so the people will know what we're
Yeah.
talking about. We back to the part of the topic about who's responsible for the freight collapse, and the responsible parties of the freight collapse would be Jerome Powell. Oh, hold on a second, my bad. I thought I had shared it. Would be, let's see here, tabs. Would be Jerome Powell
Okay.
and Diane Yeller. These are the individuals over the Fed chair. What they did was they raised the interest rate up. When they raised the interest rate up, sorry, let me rewind. They are in the federal department that's over raising the interest rate over the whole country. So they have very powerful seats. You know, when they raised the interest rate up, freight came to a halt.
Okay.
Shippers, manufacturers alike stopped spending
Yeah.
money because it became too expensive. So if you're looking to find out why it came to a halt, these are the individuals to look at.
So
These are the individuals that are appointed by the presidents we put in office.
okay, yeah. And I was gonna ask you about that. Are they affiliated with any party? Or they just a neutral person just
Well, you know, the Supreme Court ain't even
okay.
neutral. They say they are, but they not neutral. You know what I'm saying? I think anybody, you know, who come in, you know, to those just saying that they Republican or Democrat, you know what I'm saying? They you know what I'm saying? Like you have to question their beliefs based on the decisions that they make. You know, unfortunately, these two were in a position because of
Yeah.
inflation. Something had to be done to, you know what I'm saying, to keep the debt from hitting the ceiling.
Yeah.
Because that's the model that this country is built on. Unfortunately, some are doing okay. A lot of people are not doing that great. You know what I'm saying, the housing market is still
Yeah.
crazy because of the increase in the interest rate done by Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen. But like I say, they can only do so much if the House and the Senate won't listen to them on certain financial policies that they decide to pass. You know, if they're advising them, hey, don't do that, and the politicians know more in that moment than the experts who's over the economy. I mean, they can't stop them from making the, you know what I'm saying, the Senate and the House from making the decisions
Yeah.
that they want, but it all falls in their lap when everything hits the fan. So, you know, welcome to America. You know, this is the
Yeah.
American dream. You know what I'm saying? Hey, just in case anybody don't understand, the American dream is defined. Sometimes you get to be the pitcher, sometimes you get to be the receiver.
Yeah.
And so, you know what I'm saying? So it's all about, like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you don't mind being the receiver, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you got some good knees
Yeah.
and a good back because the pitcher is
Right.
gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you get
Yeah.
my drift now,
Right.
you know? So that's the American dream, because you know what I'm saying. In my lifetime, I can never remember a time where it was a steady 15 to 20 years of the economy, of the economy just humming. It's always a up and down. Every 4 to 8 years, it's gonna be
Right.
up and down, up and
And
down,
and
up and down.
as economists always say, the market is going to correct itself. If you do something on
Yeah,
one end to try to help improve the economy, you overdo it, it's going to correct itself over
yeah,
time, that's what we're going through right now, a correction.
right, right. And you know what I'm saying. And for those who don't understand, a correction could mean
Right.
catastrophic. So keep that in
Right.
mind. You know what I'm saying? When you know what I'm saying, like most histories say that when God made the world, which science call it the Big Bang Theory, it was a violent process for this world to
Right.
be created. Violent process, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The same world that we look at as being so beautiful, it was made in a violent way,
Right.
you know. So corrections ain't always a good thing. You know what I'm saying? I know the word correction sound like, oh, it's okay, you know, everything gonna be back to normal. Well, being back to normal may be, well, it's your turn to be home. You know what I'm saying? On a micro level,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? It's your turn to be homeless, and the person who was homeless, they got a chance to grow in the economy where you fail. So everybody just keep that in mind. Please
Right.
keep that in mind.
Okay. Yeah. So it's hard to know what this new normal is gonna be. A lot of the economists are
Yeah.
saying, 2025. They think that everything could kind of be, you know, back to normal, which we don't know what that new normal is gonna be. Right now, a lot of people are
Right.
saying that we're kind of hit like a little plateau. They believe that we've already hit the bottom, but it's hard to say. you know,
They trying to keep a ride from
basically,
happening.
you know,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They keep lying to us in the media just to kind of, you know what I'm saying, keep us sitting down. Because every time we get ready to do this right here, all things getting better now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Everybody sit their ass right back down and don't do nothing but
right,
let it
right,
happen. It's just, I mean, it's funny because we all guilty of, just because I'm laughing don't mean I think I'm smarter or I didn't make that mistakes. I'm laughing because it's like a mirror image. It's like I'm seeing it all over again. I'm seeing myself make these mistakes. I'm just, as I get older, I just feel like I'm getting wiser with using my third
right.
eye. You know what I mean? So, so if anybody watching this ever see me laughing about topics like this, it's not that, you know what I'm saying, that I'm laughing about the people that it's happening to. I'm laughing because it's just a ridiculous scenario
Hmm.
to me. For us to even have to deal with it, to be able to analyze, you know what I'm saying? Like, you would think, you know what I'm saying, the American dream is to hire someone like a politician to take on that stress for
Right,
you. But you better do your homework and your stressing yourself, you know what I'm saying, or else your family can suffer, you know what I'm saying? That's where it gets real, you know what I'm saying? When you talk about family, you know what I'm saying, a lot of us that's they call ourselves survivors. If it's just us, we feel like, okay, I could lose a roof over my head and still make it. But when you gotta drag
yeah,
around people with you that you
yeah.
gotta be
People depending
responsible
on
for,
you.
that's different.
Yeah,
And it gets right, and it get personal. And like Gene said, it's true. The economy will correct itself, but what will we learn from this? The ones who survived, the ones who went down a certain percentage financially, what will we learn from this? I'm willing to bet you, just based off human nature, a lot of us wouldn't change a thing. We say we will, but our actions wouldn't change a thing. 2 years from now, money start flowing around here. Social media gonna be lit up with vacation pictures. You know what I'm saying? Brand new houses in an economy with an interest rate out
right.
the roof.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see it again, man, because, you know what I'm saying, because nobody really plans that far, I guess, when you're from certain worlds. Like, this is what I would say, to people, from my community, black, white, green, or yellow. This is a way to test yourself. When you get your income tax, see if you can make it last a year. If you can make your income tax last a year, that's good practice for if something like this, like a relief, like the SBA loans or the PPP loans ever come back through, you would know how to manage it better. We should have more money in the game right now to have some control over different parts of industries that we are
right.
in. But see, everybody want to be independent. Nobody wants to start a coalition,
Yeah,
join
that's an
together. You
issue.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
It right. You know what I'm saying? This is a big country. This is a big world. You can't do it by yourself. I thought that I could do it by myself. It
yeah,
almost killed me. I ain't gonna lie. It
yeah.
almost killed me. You know what I'm saying? And man, you can't do this by yourself. That's why you hear a lot of people in the industry calling out for unity. They probably don't know how to word it to you like I just broke it down, but that's basically what they call it for. We don't have to be in business together. We need to just be able to work together, and we need to understand, man, just because JB Hunt is JB Hunt and Swift is Swift, we ain't got to run up behind them like
Right,
groupie. we can still opt to work with them. We don't have to cut each other's throats, man. But like I said, man, that's all I gotta say. I can ramble on and on. I don't want to, carry us, what I'm saying, too far over our time. But yeah, but that's just pretty
Okay,
much what I
shoot,
got to
that's
say
pretty
on
much
that.
all I had to wrap it up with. Had a few good tops, topics to go on, and hopefully the audience members who got a chance to listen in got something that they can take back and listen and meditate on, and maybe give us some comments on what they would do and how they can how they see things in the future going.